Olive oil gets talked about like a medicine, a brain shield, a heart food, and sometimes a threat. The cleaner way to ask it is, compared with what, in what amount, and as part of what diet? Most useful evidence is not about spoonfuls curing disease. It is about replacing saturated or highly refined fats with mostly monounsaturated fat, often inside a Mediterranean-style pattern rich in plants.
So when viewers hear one video say olive oil boosts the brain, another say it hurts arteries, and another say it lowers cancer risk, what is the first claim you would slow down?
I would slow down any claim that skips composition. Olive oil is energy-dense fat, mostly oleic acid, a monounsaturated fatty acid. Extra virgin olive oil also carries minor compounds, phenolics such as hydroxytyrosol-related metabolites, tocopherols, pigments, and aroma compounds. Those minor compounds are small by weight, but biologically interesting because they can influence oxidative stress and inflammatory signaling in experimental systems. Then the body-level question is replacement. If olive oil displaces butter, cream sauces, or some ultra-processed snacks, the meal often has less saturated fat and a different lipid profile. If it is added on top of the same diet, it mainly adds calories. So the same tablespoon can be a helpful swap or just extra energy, depending on the baseline plate.
Walk me through that tablespoon after someone eats it with salad or beans. Does it just become body fat, or does it change absorption and signaling along the way?
It is emulsified with bile, digested by pancreatic enzymes, absorbed through intestinal cells, and packaged into chylomicrons that carry triglyceride through lymph and blood. The fatty acids can be burned, stored, or repackaged by the liver later. With vegetables, fat can help absorb carotenoids and other fat-soluble compounds, which is one reason oil with plants makes biochemical sense.
If someone starts drinking shots of olive oil because they heard it is anti-inflammatory, where does the reasonable dose story stop?
The practical range is usually culinary, a drizzle on vegetables, dressing, sautéing, or replacing another fat. Trials often use amounts like 30 to 60 milliliters per day, but that does not mean everyone should add that amount. In a real diet, the question is whether olive oil helps you eat more legumes, greens, fish, whole grains, and fewer less favorable fats. The broader Mediterranean diet evidence is more persuasive than most single-bottle claims. A 2026 systematic review and meta-analysis included 126 studies and more than 8 million participants. Higher adherence was associated with modestly lower risk of several cancers and lower cancer-related mortality, with moderate certainty for the main outcomes. But that is the whole pattern. Plants, olive oil, moderate fish and poultry, and limited red and processed meats.
Those cancer numbers sound encouraging, but they are modest. How should someone hear a relative risk like 0.95 or 0.97 without turning it into either hype or dismissal?
A relative risk of 0.95 means a 5% relative reduction in the study comparison, not a 5% absolute guarantee. For common outcomes across millions of people, small shifts can be meaningful. For one person, they are one piece of risk management. Also, diet adherence studies can reflect many healthy behaviors bundled together, even when researchers adjust for confounding.
Extra virgin, refined, high polyphenol, light tasting, cold pressed. How much of that label language should shoppers trust? And what should they check first?
For everyday use, choose a product you will actually use on healthy foods. Ideally in a dark container, from a seller with turnover, and with harvest or Best Buy information. Extra virgin is the category most likely to retain phenolics and flavor. High polyphenol oils are interesting in trials, but you do not need a boutique bottle to make a beneficial replacement. Cooking fear is often overstated. Olive oil is commonly used for sautéing and roasting. Extra virgin has antioxidants, but also flavors that can change with heat. The practical rule is not to burn any oil. If it smokes heavily or tastes acrid, stop. For normal home cooking, olive oil can be a reasonable choice, especially compared with returning to butter by default.
What about the brain claims? If a meta-analysis in older adults with mild cognitive impairment or dementia shows improvement, Is that enough to call extra virgin olive oil neuroprotective?
No. The 2026 review found preliminary improvements in global cognitive scores, with an overall standardized effect around 0.29, but only 5 trials and 747 participants. Grade certainty was low. That makes extra virgin olive oil reasonable as part of a healthy diet, but not a substitute for dementia evaluation, medications when indicated, sleep care, exercise, hearing support, or vascular risk treatment.
Inflammation is another slippery word. Do olive oil or olive leaf products actually move inflammatory markers enough for someone to feel a health difference?
This is where I separate foods from extracts. A 2026 review of olive leaf extract in European found no statistically or clinically significant pooled effects on usual glycemic or lipid outcomes in continuous intake trials, with scarce, low-certainty inflammatory data. So I would not recommend olive leaf supplements for metabolic treatment. People using diabetes, blood pressure, lipid, or anticoagulant medicines should discuss supplements with a clinician. You judge olive oil by the diet it helps build and by routine health markers, not by how virtuous the bottle feels. Are vegetables easier to eat? Did it replace butter or creamy dressings? Are weight, LDL cholesterol, blood pressure, glucose, and triglycerides moving in the right direction over months? If not, adjust the whole pattern rather than escalating the oil. One more boundary: hospital lipid emulsions are not the same as pouring oil at home. A 2026 systematic review comparing olive oil and fish oil parenteral nutrition found too little evidence to promote either as superior for immune, liver, inflammation, or clinical outcomes. That belongs to inpatient nutrition teams. At home, olive oil is a food choice, not an intravenous nutrition strategy. So the honest case is strong enough to be useful and not strong enough to be mystical. Choose olive oil, especially extra virgin when you like the taste, to make plant-forward meals work and to replace less favorable fats. Expect modest, pattern-dependent benefits. Be skeptical of shots, cure claims, and supplement spillover. The best bottle is the one that improves the rest of the plate.